And personally, I've seen some stuff where it's just like, oh, this is kind of, I did not expect this. Um, and but but for me, seeing that. Hello.
Hi, Isaac.
How are you?
Ooh, I like your mic. How you're all
Thank
set
you.
up. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you so much for doing this.
It's no problem. It's my pleasure.
So I know we were supposed to have Manny Park with us today, but
Right.
he will be with us in spirit.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, and we'll definitely all three of us can catch up later as well. But those of you who don't know me or Isaac, we went to college together. I was a freshman year in college, and Isaac was a senior. He really put our life back together.
Oh man, I don't know if it was that much.
Yeah, his Magnus and yeah, he's like a really, really great brother to all of us, and yeah, till this day we all like keep in touch and we adore you. Even like the Cornerstone, our church still admire you and appreciate everything that you have done and are doing. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So are you in New York or New Jersey?
So I'm currently still in Jersey right now. Yeah, I've just been commuting to New York for my work back and forth since I started. Yeah, so currently, yeah, I'm still based off in Jersey right now.
Yeah, awesome. Well, before we get started, how about you give a short introduction of yourself?
Yeah, definitely. Well, hello everyone. My name is Isaac. I am, like I mentioned before, I am from Jersey, and I am currently a music engineer, mix engineer. And I studied music production and engineering in Berklee College of Music in Boston. And yeah, that's basically who I am and what I do.
Yeah, but where do you work at?
Oh, so the work, yes, I used to now work at Germano Studios. I actually left my job not too long ago. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
it's kind of a big news.
Wow. Is it because of the pandemic, or was that your own decision?
It's like, it's mostly been my own decision. And more so just, there's just a lot of like things that was kind of going around at the studio. I can't say for, just for confidentiality reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
But other than that, yeah, it's just kind of something that I had to like think about and just discuss with my parents and just other people who work there. And I think so far I think I made, I don't want to say the right decision, but I think it's a good decision just to kind of see where else I can go and what else I can do with, just being a just music engineer. So that's where I am right now.
Yeah. I feel like whatever decision you make, it's good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But yeah, wow, that's really interesting. I did not know that. I mean, because one of the questions that I was going to ask you about is, like how was work during this pandemic? Because especially like in the music industry, when tours are not happening, I don't know if recording studios are still open or not, of like what that kind of looks like. I mean, were you able to still have those gigs during the pandemic by chance?
Yeah, so I can tell you briefly. So basically, right when this pandemic hit, there's definitely been a big decline in terms of specifically in the recording studio industry, just a big decline in just clientele coming in to work and to record music at studios. And yeah, it definitely has hit our studio hard when I still started working there during this pandemic. Yeah, and a lot nowadays, just a lot of other studios, big ones especially, are being shut down and being closed down because there are no people, coming in to record anything. A lot of people nowadays are just coming in excuse me, they're just doing and recording music at their, the comfort of their own homes.
Yeah.
So it definitely has been like a big hit, not only on recording in the recording studio industry, but also in terms of touring for artists,
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, so definitely is overall just a big decline and big impact on overall just the generalization of the music industry for sure.
Wow. Sorry, that's my dog in the background.
That's all right. More the merrier.
So just like to go a little backwards, in terms of music engineering, as you studied there at Berklee, do you think Berklee helped you get prepared to be in that field when facing reality?
I think to a certain extent, for sure. I mean, there's only so much that you can learn in certain places that you are in. And I think I was able to learn what I was, just able to pick up from, the professors at Berklee and just being with other people who are like-minded. And yeah, it helped me to get prepared, I guess, for what was to come, but obviously not, everything in its entirety. But specifically, it would just be time management, which is very important, I believe, in anything really, knowing how to manage your time wisely, managing your time well,
Right.
With work, with other things in your life that's going on, and specifically for just in the industry of music and of the recording studio. You definitely need to know how to manage your time wisely. Otherwise, you will get burnt out easily.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's tiring if you don't know how to schedule things properly or, things along that kind of line. That's something that I think, I got out of just learning from being at school at Berklee.
Yeah. I think one of the things that Berklee don't mention a lot about is how to like take care of our mind and our body when we're in that field, like in terms of like not a lot of advices based on mental health, because I know a chunk of people who are so passionate and so motivated and devoted into their work, and that's great and it's like really inspiring, but then in between, during that process, it's like they look so dead.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like I feel so bad for them. Like, yeah, it is some sacrifice that we need to encounter when doing this type of job and field. But I think many times we just forget that like time management and like taking care of ourselves.
Definitely.
Yeah, which is something that I feel like there should be more awareness about.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's something
Absolutely.
that like I definitely wanted to talk to you about. Because being a music engineer, music producer in general, it's like you kind of I feel like people kind of figure out that field as they're like making music from home or watching someone do it from online or from a friend by just shadowing. But then once they really get in that reality of what the industry is like, it's kind of like, whoa, cultural shock. After you graduated Berklee, what was that post-grad process looked like for you?
So personally, and I would also say thankfully, after graduating, a couple of months in of just leaving school, thankfully I had one of my colleagues, actually Manny, who helped me to get the job at the studio that I worked at. And honestly, like my thoughts of how I see other people, they have to like, there's like a whole bigger process for them personally wise in terms of like trying to find a job or like get that job that they want. And just looking at that and how I was able to get this job, I think I'm always just thankful and just grateful of how I got that job. It wasn't like a big process, nothing interesting like happened in order for me to get this job. It was literally just a colleague just introduced me to the job, and he said he will put in a word for me, and that was kind of like how the process really was. Nothing like grand or nothing extravagant or anything like that. I wish I had something fun to say, but honestly, this is how like the process went for me personally. But yeah, but all in all, though, what I learned from that, though, just that connection of people, is you really need to do your best to find the right people in wherever you are, really, and to make good relations with them. Not only just business wise, or not only just to get something out of them, or you give them something. It's both ways. Like you develop friendship, you develop a connection that just get to enjoy life together. I think that's if that is at the root and the heart of your reason of being connected, of wanting to develop a relationship with someone, then other things will come, whether it's big, whether it's small. Just having a intentional and just a genuine, just striving to have a genuine and intentional relation with whoever that may be, then you'll start to receive, and you'll also be willing to even give more to whoever that may be. And I think that's something that's very important, that anyone can really learn in whatever field or career that they're looking for, or that they're currently in.
Yeah. Wow. Preach. Yeah. You stated like really important facts that, when we dive into an industry where it involves a lot of connection based, a lot of the times networking can be kind of used in a negative way, where like clouts, or like just using that person just to get the position that they want to claim, or whatsoever. But you stated a really important fact of how not just that, I mean, although like building connection with people, it is important, but the relationship, the genuine, and the friendship and the bond, like that is more intimate. Like it's really important, because those type of people will like not only come in and out of your life, but like will continuously support you no matter where you're at in life. So like the fact that you have Manny Park as that mentor and that friend, it's really, I'm actually like so happy for you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Because I know that you guys work in the same company, and whatever that has happened, the fact how you guys like stood next to each other and like lean on each other, and just like really such a gift that you guys aren't facing this alone, because you guys have that. You guys can like process it together. And I feel like for those who maybe have lost their gigs, or maybe laid off, or work from home, or whatever that is, during this whole quarantine and global pandemic, I feel like what is keeping us alive is our community, whether close or from virtual, afar, or whatever. Like I feel like that's what's helping a lot of us, kind of really helping one another and being where we're at today. I don't know, I could be completely wrong, but from the people that I have talked to, it seemed to be that way. I won't ask like what the music industry is like right now, or like in the future, since there's so many things unknown. But I think no matter like what this world like status may be, I know that for a fact in a lot of countries, music industry can be toxic, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, with like drug and alcohol, and just like a lot of things that may influence others in a lot of different ways. So I don't know if you want to share, or have ever encountered where you were like stumbled upon something when you were working with a group of people where it was like very cultural shocking for you.
I mean, yeah, for sure, like you said and mentioned, like just in the music industry, there is a lot of just yeah toxic things, good amount of corruption, and yeah, things that can kind of make you stumble in certain ways or certain aspects. Um, Personally, though, I haven't come across or any experienced anything that like really stumbled me personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is definitely thanks to just how I grew up, uh, uh, just being taught by my parents, and also, um, as you already know, and as people may know don't know, I grew up in the church, so just having that kind of just a good community of people at the church, and also just what I've learned, just being, how to be just a good person as a good Christian is something that I take into very seriously and take into heart a lot, and every aspect that I just of life, and having that foundation has helped me to not stumble and to not like fall into things that like that is toxic or that is not good for me. But it definitely was. There are things where I just I've heard about things that happens in the studio, um, and personally I've seen some stuff where it's just like oh this is kind of I did not expect this, and but for me that seeing that like toxic environment and just people just doing whatever they want really kind of also just motivates me to just be and show a better show just how to be a good example of just being a good person, of being really a Christian really, and I'm not trying to be like someone who's like saying excuse me, like trying to pour out like religious kind of things on to anyone right now, but really it's just that really is what helped me, just having a Christian background, and just having those foundations as a Christian is what really helps me to just be a good person, and just be able to just show how to be a good person in action and also in words. Yeah, so I can say that there wasn't really anything that like stumbled me or anything like that, but I've definitely seen some stuff that's like I was like, oh whoa, that's kind of crazy, but thankfully, yeah, I just everything that I've learned and just my background has just helped me to just stay stable and to just stay focused on what really matters. So
yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much for being honest.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. Proud of you, Isaac. I know I'm
Thank you.
saying to you, but I'm proud of you.
No, every encouragement just really helps. So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. So when we like go back to like as you were like a student, if someone were to ask you, like what kind of advice or tips that you would give them as they're starting off their first step in becoming or going into that music career, and also along with that question, like, do you think it's worth going to a music college to become a music producer or an engineer?
Good question, definitely. My advice is with just generally for students that I give advice to when they first start off going to college as a freshman is what I stress enough, or what I can't stress enough on, excuse me, is finding the right community and finding a good community of just people to surround yourself with. I think that is very important for students when they first go off to college. Otherwise, if they surround themselves with people that doesn't have good influences on them, then it's obviously gonna lead them to places where it's not good for them, where it's just a lot of just bad things. So surprisingly enough, my advice is not anything really music related. That will come, when you find and when you place yourself with people that is just good, like good people, right? The right people, and um, when you have that good community, when you find yourself in a place where you have a good community, um, you'll have the support. You have the support of other students, the support of other mentors, teachers to help guide you along the way of what it is that you want to do and what it is that you want to become. Um, and for the second part of your question, whether it is worth going to school for to become a music engineer / music producer, I think it's really that's really up to that person.
Yeah.
I think since I went to school for engineering and for producing, the good part of it is you get to learn, from other professors and from teachers, and you have that the place where you are in that environment where you can learn from other mentors and hear what they have to say and learn from what they've learned, things like that. And if you think it's worth paying the tuition to go to school, then definitely go to school for it. But if you feel like you can make it on your own with other ways of doing it, then go that way. Honestly, as long as you just put in the work and put in the effort of just learning and of being willing to learn and to be open-minded to suggestions, to critiques, to advice, whatever way you choose, then you'll be able to find just the success that you are looking for.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, there really is no like right or wrong way of becoming like an engineer or producer, nor is I can't say if it's worth or not worth going to school for it or not.
Yeah, that was a good advice. I know that I mentioned that I wasn't going to ask you this, but I'm just so curious because I've been so into TikTok lately.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is like, what I've been observing is that there's been a lot of singles released, and it just becomes like a trend for a couple months, and it just starts to fade, and another single comes out, trends fade out. Is that like the direction that the music industry is kind of going for? Do you think, or?
It's good. That's interesting. I personally, I don't know if that is the direction that people are going for. I think why it's like that, just from what I know, is the culture nowadays. People are always looking for the next new thing, and like once that new thing comes, and they like try to indulge in it as much as they can, then they get bored of it. They like get tired of it, and they want to look for the next new thing. So maybe just that culture of finding what is next, is something that the artists and whoever is trying to fulfill that satisfaction, that desire of the average listener, of the average consumer. So I think maybe that could be the reason as to why people are just releasing singles and not really releasing like a big project for someone to actually willing to sit down and listen through the whole thing, because that's kind of how it was, a long time ago, where people would buy, full albums, buy full LPs, and listen to every single track and listen to, what they're kind of, if there was a story behind, all the why the tracks were in this order, or like why they created this kind of music. Like there's a story behind it, and people, were willing to listen to each and every single track and kind of just figure out in their own and what the story of the artist was, like what was the reason behind the work. But I think nowadays, because the culture is just like, oh, let's go on to the next thing. Like we got to be quick. We got to like, move fast, move forward. which in itself is not a bad thing, but definitely it's been too much of that. And I think
Yeah.
that kind of is the reason as to why maybe people are just releasing singles instead of like, full albums or even EPs. Uh, yeah, that's what I think as to what's going on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like very curious about that because I was
Mm.
like, something seems a little different.
Hmm.
And I think I was like trying to search for that, but yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I guess my last question for you before we close this
Sure.
is, um, I know that I don't know if your goals and your vision has changed to this global pandemic, but if
Hmm.
not, like what would you say like your vision and goal is as a music engineer?
Mm. So yeah, that's something that I've been just kind of constantly, continually just pondering upon and like trying to figure out. Um, at first, like right now, currently, I guess there's like a small kind of goal that I have in mind, and then there
Mm,
is like a grander goal in that. And the small goal is what's the word? It's like kind of I can't seem to figure out what the word is, but basically, um, like all in all, I would like to just have the freedom of just
mm,
being able to still do music in the comfort of my home, and just whether it's mixing, whether it is recording,
mm,
um, all in all, just be like a freelancer, having the ability to work on music on my own time,
mm-hmm.
and just basically, you know, all in all, uh, I guess be a good example of just in general. I guess be a good example
Yeah, for the music
somehow.
industry that we all
Yeah,
that they need. Yeah. We
exactly.
need more of
Yeah.
you. We just
Oh no,
like duplicate you like just 10 more.
no. But yeah, basically, I guess that's where like the grander goal comes in. As someone who I just long to just do and show and spread like just honestly who God is in this industry of being in the music industry is
Mm,
just to make some kind of impact. I don't know what kind of impact that may be,
yeah.
whether it is the connections I make while doing like freelancing of mixing people's music, whether it's online or if I have to meet them in person. Because in this life, um, one thing that I've learned in just throughout this quarantine is everything is really just relationship based,
Mm-hmm.
and because there's so many things that you could do when you make a relation with whoever that may be, and again when I mentioned before about not building relations just on business terms or anything that you want, but just to get to know that person. Even that is a simple thing that can go a long way
Yeah.
for that person and for yourself. So it doesn't honestly, if I don't get the gig or whatever, or if I don't get this work or job, if I made some kind of impact in a way
Mm,
that honestly that shows, what God has done in my life, and I can just show that and spread that to that person or to
yeah.
many people, then honestly I think that's enough for me.
Yeah.
And because if I put my foundation on uh, whether it's a new job or a new career, money, things like that, any
Mm-hmm.
worldly things, it's only going to go such a long way that you
Yeah.
won't be able to um, see what your actual purpose is for honestly this life that you've been given and what I've been given as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's why just being intentional with your relation with whoever, new and
Mm-hmm.
old. Um, you want to make every minute count with that person,
Mm-hmm.
and um, and whatever talent that it is that you may have specifically for us it's music, for you it'd be music therapy, for me it's being in the
Mm-hmm.
engineering world. Um, I think as long as we make some sort of impact, in their life, whether it's big or small, in wherever situations and wherever places that we are placed in by Him, then I think that is basically the goal and vision that I'm continually just like digesting and just kind of swallowing upon, and just figuring out what I can do each and every single day to just live in the moment and to be intentional with everything that I do. I don't know if that made any sense, but yeah.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. And it's awesome. What a great vision. And I'm really excited for what the future holds for you. I know that there's a lot of uncertainty and, just stuff happens. But from the journey that I've known you since freshman in high school, not high school, freshman in college, just growing up with Jonas Kim and with our Irvan team, throwback. Yeah, we were, and just like seeing how much you have. I sound like I said, I'm a 동생, but I sound like I'm older than you. Like,
no.
The fact how I've seen you grow.
I hope I was a good example to you. Yeah, that's basically, what would be something that I just want to have an impact on. For like 동생's, for the Hubes, they see that I'm a good example, and I hopefully, something that you're seeing.
Yeah, you've definitely been there for us, and you always open your time to listen to us and grieve about whatever. But yeah, that was so awesome. Well, Isaac, that's all that we have that I wanted to cover with you. Another thing that I forgot.
Yeah.
What coffee or tea are you drinking?
Oh, so actually, I don't really drink coffee, and I don't have tea at home. So right now, I just have water.
Yeah, no, that's
simple
totally
H2O.
Fine. No, water's the best choice. Yeah, I see. Alrighty, Isaac. Well, thank you so much for your time. I hope to have a 3-way call with you and Manny Park soon.
Definitely, that would be great. Yeah, thank you for having me. I was definitely a bit nervous, but I'm glad I was able to share just anything that you were just interested in and you had questions on, and hopefully what I shared will do something in a way for people who are watching and listening. So.
Yes, yeah. I'm gonna send this to our Irvan chat so everyone can watch it. But yeah, once again, thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thank you, Grace. I appreciate that. And hope you stay safe, stay healthy, and you have a great and blessed rest of your week as well.
Yeah. All right, Isaac. Bye.
Take care. Thank you. Take care.